This is my review for 1,000 Pardons by Jonathan Dee. This book was published in March of 2013 by Random House. It has 224 pages and it has 842 ratings on Goodreads. This book pretty much starts out with an upper middle class nuclear family in which the mother and the father are going through some marital problems. It really starts out where they're telling their daughter that they're going on date night, but they really are going to couples therapy, and it's not really going too good. The wife is named Helen, and then I think the husband is named Ben. Their marriage is kind of falling apart. Ultimately, the husband, he does something that causes a scandal and makes him vulnerable for lawsuit and jail time, and ultimately the couple gets a divorce, and so the mother, who has pretty much been a stay-at-home mom for all these years, now moves to the city. She gets a job as PR representative, and she actually finds out that she has a really good skill in getting people who have been disgraced, who have made mistakes, who are being blamed for something, to apologize to improve the public image. The book is really about forgiveness and apologies and sincerity and guilt. Talking about the characters, describing the situation at the beginning with the husband and wife. Obviously, the husband, he does something that causes them to get divorced. The thing is that the character that I empathized with the most and felt the most sorry for, and that I was actually on the side of the most, was the husband, who made the most mistakes. The person, I think, who made the least mistakes, I was infuriated with her, which is the main protagonist, which is Helen, who has the skill of getting people to apologize. I grew to absolutely hate Helen. I just hated Helen. And I felt that it was really, really ironic that she had a really good skill of getting people to be sincere and to be apologetic, and that so she can figure out what was sincere from them, when in reality she has zero ability to read the people closest to her. She has zero ability to read her husband, she has zero ability to read her daughter, and all the people that she meets, she actually more so interacts with her perception of them rather than who they really are. There are many times in this book where she feels like, you know, her ex-husband is out to do something to her, and that he's really conniving, when in reality he's just really, really chill. And for the husband, I felt that I liked him a lot more because he did something not good. He definitely made mistakes, but he was really the only character that grew from the mistakes that he made. He didn't beg for forgiveness. He atoned for what he did, and he really accepted what he brought upon himself, and he made himself a better person. While at the same time it seemed like Helen was completely blind to any mistakes that she might have made, is making, or might make in the future. I just was kind of really baffled. Like, she says she wants one thing, but she doesn't really want it. She just says that she wants it because it sounds good, and that's what sounds like a mother should say. But deep inside, she really doesn't care. She just wants things her way. The really weird thing is that it seemed like everyone around her just kind of snapped and became crazy, and it kind of made sense why the husband ultimately snapped and did what he did. I don't want this to sound like it's in the realm of, blaming the wife for causing her husband to cheat, but at the same time, it's like, you can't really cheat on a relationship that doesn't exist. And it made it seem like their marriage, she wasn't there, or she stopped being there. If you start seeing your life partner start slowly becoming a zombie, the life is slowly being drained from his eyes, you tell he's like quietly desperate in this monotony and boredom of his life, you're gonna at least ask him what's wrong. And the thing is, she never actually asks people what's wrong. She thinks she knows what's wrong, and then she figures that they should fix it, or she tries to fix that, or that's the problem that should be fixed, without even really discussing anything. And the thing is, like, in the couples therapy, he says exactly what's wrong and exactly what he wants to do and exactly how he feels, and she does nothing with it. And then he does that thing, which is really sad. I mean, like, when you see, like, he's really sad. I just feel sorry for him. And then I think the daughter was alright, but I think maybe she was a bit too much of a stereotypical teen, sulky, angsty person. Not really that angsty, but I wish that they made her a little bit, I'm not going to say more vocal, but a little bit richer. But there is one character in here which is not necessarily, it's like a weird subplot with the daughter, but she has a boyfriend, and this boyfriend is the most backwards caricature of, like, the radical privileged minority that I have ever seen. Like, literally in this book, for this guy to prove how biased and how racist white people are, it's like, oh, look, these people all think I'm going to steal from them. And then he goes up and he actually technically steals from them. And he's like, oh, look, isn't that messed up? He just gave me his money. I didn't even have to ask for his money. He just gave it to me because he thought I was going to steal from him. But you took his money. So, I mean, I don't think that any cognizant minority who is aware of the stigma that at least black men have in society, and how dangerous it is, and how it's easier for black men to be frisked, to be pulled over, to be implicated in crimes when they have done nothing wrong. It's infuriating that Jonathan Dee thinks that a black man who is aware of all of those things would purposely implicate himself in a crime just to prove a point. I mean, that is the most ignorant, backward thing. Like, his whole approach to race thing was just incredibly frustrating, and I just always felt uncomfortable whenever he brought it up, because he brought it up in a way that I think people make fun of. I don't know, it's like a caricature of those types of people, and I really didn't appreciate it. I'll give Jonathan Dee some credit in the fact that how he introduced characters or people of color, that he did not identify them by their race at first. Like, when you first started reading these characters, you didn't know that they were people of color, and then it mentions, like, sometimes, like, a few chapters later, oh wait, they're Asian, or like a few pages later, oh wait, he's black, that type of thing. I did like that aspect, but his whole approach to race and the dialogue was really annoying. I had to give this book 1 out of 5 stars. I mean, starting out with the book, I would have given it 4 stars if it just, like, kept the same type of feeling at the beginning. Halfway, I was debating on if I was being honest by giving it 4 stars, and so I was leaning more towards a 3. And then finally, when I got to the end, I was just kind of really annoyed with everything, so I gave it a 1. Because the thing is, so much and the end, it just, like, it's going on this trajectory, and then it introduces an event that makes no sense, and it goes nowhere, and it just ends really open-ended. It seems like everything was heading towards tying up loose ends, and then it just adds, like, a Gordian knot, and then kind of cuts halfway through it, and then just leaves all these ends open, and then you're like, why did he do that? I don't understand why he added that event near the end. And he just, like, threw in this character that they briefly mentioned in the beginning. I didn't understand his choices in here. I was thinking about reading The Privileges, which was Jonathan Dee's novel that was a finalist for the Pulitzer Prize, but after this, I don't even know if I want to try The Privileges. I'm going to hear that it's very good, but I'm just really frustrated with this book. Honestly, I even got tired of the father, because he also, like, even though he was super apologetic, he even got a little bit too passive. He eventually just became, like, a punching bag, and it seemed like he was like, okay, I'll just live the rest of my life as a punching bag, and the fight has just been beaten out of him. Finished. That's it for this review. 1 out of 5 stars. Do not recommend. Sorry.